Hi, and thank you for joining me. My name is ODILE, and we're going to be doing a core tune-up today. So often when we do our Pilates exercises, we end up putting a lot of attention on the exercise and the choreography, which is really wonderful. But sometimes in the process of it all, we lose track of our core. So this is a core-focused exercise class, and we'll be about 15 minutes or so, really connecting to the deep core musculature and then feeling how that connects to the arms and the legs and all the way through our entire body. So what you'll need is a stretch band. If you happen to have a stretch band, that would be fantastic. If you don't have a stretch band, you can grab like socks or anything that kind of gives a little soft contact for your body. So the core we're going to start with isn't the superficial core, so it's not just general abs and it's not just your general back, but it's very specifically the root of the pelvic floor itself. Just a quick word with the pelvic floor, after you do your pelvic floor exercises, you do want to give your pelvic floor some relaxation. You don't want it to be always tight. That can also cause some challenges and some pain in your back. When the muscles are too tight, then your body isn't facile and has a hard time connecting in dynamic ways. So you do want your core working when you want it working, and then you want it off when you want it off. All right, so we're gonna actually take our strap, right, which we have, or your pair of socks or whatever, and you're gonna roll it into a little bundle. For those of you who have joined me and met me at Rancho La Puerta over the years and most recently, this is an exercise I start all my classes with because it really gives a clear felt sense of where the core, the root of the core is. So you're gonna take your bundle and you're actually going to sit right on top of it at the very front of your pelvis. So you're not back at your buttocks, you're not on the sides, but you're at the very, very front. So it's as if you were going to have to go to the bathroom, but you were gonna hold your stream of urine, right? So that feeling of having to hold it when you go to the bathroom, not from the buttocks and the backside, but from the front, is really where we want to put our attention. Those deep pelvic floor muscles at the root of the pelvis in the front, at the front of the pelvic sling, connect into the deepest abdominal muscles and into the deepest back muscles. So that's what we're engaging. So it's a little awkward. For some of you, this might be our first date. So if that's the case, you just want to observe and see what I'm doing, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, join me, take a comfortable seated position. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can also sit in a chair, a pretty flat surface chair, not a bucket seat, okay? All right, so here we go. You're going to take the right half and the left half of your pelvis in the front, can't emphasize that enough, and squeeze the two halves of the pelvis together as if you're squeezing your bundle. So the way this is cued is that you're closing the elevator doors, and then release. And inhale, exhale, again, close the right half and left half of the deep pelvis. So we're deep inside the pelvic bowl, inside the hip bones, we're deep inside at the front, right pubic bone, left pubic bone squeezing together. Hold that squeeze, so you're holding your bundle, closing those elevator doors, and now you're pulling up that pelvic elevator. So you'll start to feel this kind of front body ascending, this deep core musculature lifting up. Inhale, hold that here. Exhale and bring that back down and open your elevator doors. Notice how your posture is affected. Inhale into the side and back ribs. As you exhale, again, close the pelvic elevator doors in the front around the bundle, and then lift that elevator up as it's ascending, moving up towards your navel center. All right, so now we're gonna hold it up there, and we're gonna breathe here 3 breaths. If you're feeling tension in your back, try not to grab so hard, but just feel if you can kind of gently hug rather than grab or grasp, okay? 2 more breaths here. Inhale into the side and back ribs. Exhale, keep closing those elevator doors, keep ascending. 1 more breath, so we're still up with that core connection. Inhale, exhale, close the elevator doors. See if you can pull your core musculature up a little bit more. Inhaling at the top, and then exhale, bring that elevator down, open the doors, and relax. One more time, inhale. Exhale, close the pelvic elevator doors. Feel the narrowing of the right half and left half pubic bone coming together. Inhale and exhale. Now pull up the musculature off the pelvic basin. So there's a lifting of the deep pelvic muscles that live inside, and they go up. One more breath here. Inhale, hover. Exhale, close a little more, lift a little more deeply up, and then inhale at the top, and exhale, bring the elevator down, open the doors, and let the people out. Okay, now you're going to come off of your bundle. So your bundle has left an impression, right? It's left a hollow in that pelvic space. So now you're gonna hug around that bundle. Now you have a clear sensation of what you're engaging, right? So inhale, exhale, close the right half and left half into that space. Can you feel the contraction of the two halves of your pelvis meeting in the middle? And then once you close those doors, can you feel that pelvic musculature pulling up? It's as if you scoop the bundle and then you're pulling it up into your body to give that sense of lift, okay? And again, another kind of association is you have to go to the bathroom and you're gonna hold it, but from the front musculature, not in the buttocks, not in the back. So you're gonna maintain this. We're gonna inhale and exhale, take us into a side bend. So as you're side bending, doing something nice and opening for your frame, especially on that left side, can you still pull up through the pelvic floor? Can you still connect to that pelvic elevator? Bring that back up and over to the other side. Keep lifting up through that pelvic elevator connection. Feel the contact of those muscles coming together, right? If this is new for you, it might kind of be blinking on and off, like it's engaging and then it's weak and so it lets go. Over time, you'll be able to do a sustained contraction. That means that you can hold the contraction for a little while, inhaling, exhaling, keep lifting up to that pelvic elevator. One more time, other side, side bending over, feeling the connection, feeling that internal drawing up, and come all the way back up. Relax your elevator down and open. Release. Let's change the cross of the legs. Again, you can do this on the chair. You don't need to be sitting on a mat, okay? Inhale. So now we're gonna do the elevator and we're gonna twist. So we're challenging our spine to different ranges of motion. So the spine is doing something. The pelvic musculature is supporting the spine. So as you're closing the pelvic elevator doors and lifting that pelvic floor musculature up, it sets a whole chain of events into your body of this interior intrinsic musculature, meaning the muscles that live inside your body that hold your shape together in the most optimal way. So we're engaging those, okay? So release, relax, shake it out, inhale, and exhale. Close the elevator doors. There you go. Then pull up that pelvic elevator. Okay? Feel that rise. Are you feeling a little stronger, a little more clear as to where you're contacting? You will feel a little bit of back tone because your core is made up of the pelvic floor, the deep abdominals, and the deepest back muscles. So don't be too worried if you're feeling some back tone. If it's pain, that's different. Then lighten up on your contraction. Don't squeeze, right? You're hugging. See if you can kind of feel the difference between squeezing and hugging. Okay, we're gonna make a rotation to our right. So I'm still lifting my pelvic elevator door. Remember that sustained contraction. And I'm gonna spiral to my right. Left hand to the outside of my right knee, right hand behind me, engaging from my core. So now I can feel my inner body engaging and my external body moving. That is dynamic stability. Come back to center. And other side, pelvic floor ascending. You feel that elevator lifting and the doors are closed. You don't want to just lift, you want to close the doors first and then lift as you're spiraling around to your left. Come back to center. Are you still lifting up? Close the elevator doors, pull them back up again, and let's go over to the right again. Good, and back to center, and over to the left. You can go as deep into your twist or as light as you would like. Make sure that your focus isn't the twist. Make sure that the focus is your core. Your twist is challenging your core's ability to contract, and then come back to center. Perfect. let the elevator go, open the door, let it out. Okay, now we're gonna lie on our back, and you're going to feel the same engagement lying on your back. So when you're lying on your back, I want you to close the elevator doors, pull up that pelvic elevator, and feel the ability of your core to slide and glide up your frame, but you didn't change your spine, right? Just like an elevator moving up and down a building, it doesn't move the building, it just rides along the interior rails of that elevator track. So that's what your core is doing. It's got a path. We're strengthening the path of that core connection. So we've closed the elevator doors. We're pulling up through the pelvic elevator. Inhale here, and as you exhale, go ahead now and flatten your back. So you've engaged first, and then you move, right? We're not gonna move and then try to engage once we've moved. You wanna feel the structural support first, and then you move your structure. And then come back through the middle. Inhale, exhale, close the elevator doors, pull up that pelvic elevator, and arch. Come back to center, and curl. Inhale through the middle. Exhale and arch. So what am I moving on? I'm moving on my pelvic bowl. So I'm not thinking about my belly button going back and forth. I'm thinking about the bones down between my buttocks. That's the sacrum bone. I'm rolling back on it. It's like the foot of a rocking chair, the shape of that sacrum. And come back to center. So I'm kind of rocking on my sacrum forward and back, all the while narrowing through that pelvic floor, pulling up through the pelvic canal all the way into my abdominal cavity, back to center, and back to a forward arch. So now, yes, I'm increasing the shape of my back, right, the arch of my back, but it's because I've rocked on my pelvis, not because I'm straining my back muscles. Big distinction. And then come back to center. All right, let's go side to side. A Pilates teacher once cued it, and I love this cue, as think of your mat as a stamp pad and your body as a stamp, okay? So the ability to imprint into the mat and use your core to make that happen is golden. That's where the core power and strength comes in. So inhale to prepare. As you exhale, close the elevator doors, pull up that pelvic elevator, and now tip your pelvis to the left. So I'm pouring the weight of my pelvis over to the left side, not my ribs, not my low back. My low back is gently twisting because my pelvis and core have taken me there, but it's not because my back is straining. My shoulders are relaxed and my eyes are looking forward, except the few times that I look at you guys. And then come back to center. And then I pour my weight over to the right side. Make sure that this is coming from the core musculature and your ability to tone and engage the right half of the pelvis, not pushing into your feet. Back to center. And engage the left side of your pelvis as you pour the weight down. Stamp into the stamp pad with your left butt cheek. Back to center. And then stamp into the stamp pad with your right butt cheek. Keep that pelvic floor activated. Elevator up and bring it back, and then come back to center. Let your elevator go and just feel the difference in your body's tone, in your body's connectedness, right? Do you feel more relaxed and mushy? Nothing wrong with mushy. As a matter of fact, we don't always want to be so tight, because then it makes it really difficult to move. And then when you engage, you do want to feel that coming together, that pulling together of your body parts. So now we're pulling the right and left half of the pelvis together. We're going to go all the way around, right? So I know I've cued this before in some of my other videos, but not from this lens, right? So we're still pulling up through that pelvic elevator. We're closing those elevator doors, and then we're rolling on our pelvis. Now it's more circular, not just like a foot of a rocking chair. Come back to center. Inhale. If you're a stamp on a stamp pad, you're making a circle with your body on that stamp pad. So engage your pelvic floor and core. Close the elevators. Pull up that elevator and flattening the sacrum backwards, which is going to flatten your back against the mat. And then pour the weight over to the right side of the pelvis, down to your tail, over to the left side, and again, flattening the top of the sacrum back against the mat. Make sure you're using your core, not your feet. Over to the right half, down to your tail, over to the left side, all the way back to center, and pause in the middle. All right, we're gonna flip over, and we're gonna come onto all fours. So this is another great exercise. This cue is not mine, but it is so effective. Again, you know, we Pilates teachers really are inspired by each other, and I'm inspired by all my amazing teachers that have taught me so many of these exercises and so many visual cues, and then I've layered on over time. So first, just being on all fours, notice your knees are directly under your hips and your hands are directly under your shoulders. Then I want you to imagine that you're a cat, not the cat as in like yoga class where we're doing the cat and cow, but you're the animal, the cat, or it could be a dog, whatever. And on your inhale, you're going to let your kittens hang. In other words, let your belly soften and relax to the floor. So gravity is helping your belly sink to the floor and you're letting it happen, okay? But notice that I didn't collapse my spine. I kept my skeleton quiet. It's stable, and I'm just relaxing my muscles around my abdomen. Now inhale to prepare. Here I want you to close your elevator doors. I want you to pull up your pelvic elevator, and then you're gonna pull in your kittens. So if you're a pregnant cat, you're gonna pull in your kittens to the front of your frame. So now this is engaging more of the outer layers of your abdomen, right? And then you release. Inhale. As you exhale, close the pelvic elevator doors. Pull up that pelvic elevator, and then pull in your kittens so you can feel that strong contraction from your pubic bone all the way to the bottom of your breastbone, because your abdominal cavity takes up that entire surface area there. Inhale, release. One more time. Exhale, close the elevator doors. Pull those kittens in. Feel the strength of your core as you've lifted that pelvic elevator and connected your elevator with your kittens. Here we go. We're gonna do the opposite arm and leg pointer dog exercise. So left hand forward, right leg back. It's not about your appendages. It's about closing the elevator doors, pulling up the elevator, and feeling those kittens pulled into the front of your frame. Now reach your fingers and toes away from each other, but organize yourself from your core first, and then bring that down. And we're gonna change sides. Inhale, exhale, right arm forward, left leg back. But did you move first? Or did you engage your elevator doors first, pull up to the pelvic elevator, pull in your kittens, and then reach your edges away from each other? So you're working from the deep center all the way to your edges. Proximal to distal, as they say in the movement world, and bring that down and change. Organize from your pelvic floor, elevator closed, pull that elevator up, pull in your kittens, exhale, left arm forward, right leg back. And notice the exhale really animates the core even more. Inhale, bring that down. Close the elevator doors, pull up to the pelvic elevator, draw in your kittens. Exhale. That exhale really seals the deal, because we're not just a vacuum, right? In other words, I'm not just engaging my core, I'm breathing, and my breath really helps me strengthen my core connection. And bring that down. So 2 more each side. Core first, and then reach. So that whole kitten elevator thing, that's called a co-contraction. Okay, so you're engaging your deep pelvic floor, your deepest abdominals, even the breathing diaphragm, and then you are reaching your edges. So instead of saying elevator up, kittens in, I'm gonna say co-contract. One more, co-contract, and reach. And bring that down, inhale, exhale, co-contract, 3 parts, pelvic floor, elevator up, kittens in, and reach. Good. And bring that down. So now instead of sitting back in child's pose, we're gonna go right up into Pilates inverted V. Where's your reference point? It's not your arms, it's not your legs, it's not even lifting your butt bones. It's engaging your pelvic elevator, pulling up the elevator itself, and then lifting those kittens. So engage first, and then float your tailbone to the sky. Float the whole back of your body towards the ceiling while your arms and legs are really rooted and anchored to the ground. Feel the contrast of the pressing down while your tailbone is lifting up. Maybe your heels don't touch the floor. That's totally okay. Maybe they do. Maybe you're down on your elbows because your wrists are a little sensitive. That's fine. All the while you are co-contracting. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale. Keep that co-contraction alive, and then come back down. Okay, so now we're gonna go up and down. Some of you may need to be on your elbows. It's totally cool. Some of you are going to be able to stay on your palms. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Core first. Co-contract. Float up. Exhale. Inhale down. Barely touching your knees to the mat. Exhale. Lift. Reach. Arms, legs, hips, core. Inhale down. 3 more. Up. Reach. Engage. Lift the interior of your frame. Feel those kittens snuggled in even as you come down. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Lift. Rise. Stretch through the palms. Open through the soles of the feet. Reach your legs backwards in space. Last time. Inhale. Light touch of your knees down onto the mat. Lift from your core as you reach back. And bend your knees. And come on down. Fantastic. Okay, so next we're going to do a little bit of abdominals in the more traditional setting. So we're doing, kind of curls and those kinds of things. But again, your focus is the deep core connection, not necessarily your physical frame and its big movement, okay? The big movement is there to kind of challenge the core and to shape-shift your body because the body loves to move, right? Motion is lotion, as they say. So we're going to interlace the fingers at the base of the skull. And we're going to close the pelvic elevator doors. Now, as you close the pelvic elevator doors, can you squeeze your thighs together? Your inner thighs meet at the pelvic floor. They actually kind of start at the pelvic floor. So you're going to feel that root of the pelvic floor connection narrow, pull up, and now draw in your kittens. As you exhale, I'd like for you to anchor the back of the ribs. So remember the stamp pad? You're going to press your ribs back against the stamp pad, and as you're curling with your head and shoulders off the mat, the emphasis isn't how high can I get my head up. It's number 1, am I co-contracted? So am I narrowing the pelvic elevator, pulling up and pulling in my kittens? And 2, am I imprinting into the back of my stamp pad? So level 1 would be flattening behind the belly button and flattening behind the ribs. Level 2, a little more advanced, is keeping a tiny little space between your low back and the mat. Like you had a blueberry back there, and you're not going to mush the blueberry. So this is, again, level 2, right? Level 1 mushes the blueberry. Level 2 does not, okay? Once you kind of learn how to stay in neutral, then we're practicing a neutral. So inhale, pick your level. Exhale, close the pelvic elevator doors, pull up that pelvic elevator, imprint to the back of the rib cage, pull in your kittens, and curl up through the rib cage. Good, and lie back down. 6 more. 6, if you're feeling pretty advanced, you want to take it to the next level, find your neutral. If that feels like, gosh, I'd like to take it even further, bring your legs all the way to tabletop. Exhale and anchor. Without the legs down on the mat, it makes it even harder because your trunk has to balance itself and move itself. 3 more. Close the elevator doors. Pull up the elevator. Pull in your kittens and curl. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Notice the focus on the deep pelvic floor and core, not even so much how high you're coming up. And curl. And lie back down and bring that all the way down. Okay, so now we're going to do the same idea, but we're going to do a rotation with our spine, okay? Again, remember, we are not doing the big Pilates exercises. We're focusing, we are doing them, but we're focusing on the core first, so I'm keeping it in its most simple choreography so we can put our attention on our core first, okay? Interlace. Squeeze those legs together. So you're hugging the midline of your body. The elevator is pulled together and it's riding up its track. On your exhale, again, feel your ribs press back into the stamp pad behind you. Are you choosing flat back or are you choosing neutral? Be conscious about your choice and be conscious why you're making it. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to spiral to our left. So as I twist to my left, I'm not emphasizing how high my right side is coming. I'm going to put a lot of attention on the side that's down and then come back to the center. Still narrowed and still activated through my pelvic floor and core. I'm going to spiral to my right side. Again, I'm not focusing so much on how high I'm lifting my left, but really imprinting onto that right side and bring it back down. And over to the left side. Are you co-contracting? Are you pulling in and up through those kittens? Is your elevator ascending? And through the middle, 2 more each side. Exhale and center. Exhale and center. Last time each side. Feel the stability of the pelvis because of those core muscles engaging. Last time over to the right side. And bring it back to the middle and lie down. So again, super basic, but the basics are really the foundation of so much. Okay, so we're gonna come all the way. From here, we're gonna lie on our stomachs. Okay, so next cue that I use, and I find very effective, is the ability to press your pelvis into the mat, okay? The front of the pelvis, your bikini line. So take your hands and place them directly under the front of your hips. So you can feel your hip bones, and then you can feel the bikini line area just below your hip bones, kind of as it diagonally angles down to your pubic bone. So that's your bikini line there. And then just notice, you know, are you more pubic bone heavy or are you more hip bone heavy? See if you can kind of balance out so you're not all pubic bone and you're not all hip bones. You want to feel that flattening of the bikini line. Go ahead and bend your right knee, okay? And then go ahead and straighten the leg. So very simple, when you bend your right knee, if your quads are really tight, it's gonna make your butt wanna lift to the sky because the quads are trying to kind of achieve this action. And the hamstrings might even get a little cramped. Super simple, right? This isn't hard in terms of its choreography because we're just bending and straightening our knee, but your focus is closing the pelvic elevator doors, pull up that pelvic elevator, draw in your kittens, but don't change your frame shape, and just bend your right knee. Okay, changing legs. So we did it 4 times on the left. Now you're gonna do, or 4 times on the right. Now we're 4 times on the left. 1, ooh, harder for me on this side. And 2, super simple again. And I'm just really assessing my frame. How am I doing? 3, I'm feeling my hamstring actually, and my core. And 4, okay, bring that down. Next, inhale to prepare. Shoulders are relaxed. Exhale, float your right long leg up off of the mat. So we're not going super high because the higher we go, the more we're gonna have to arch our back. Most people don't have a ton of hip extension. In other words, we're tight across the front of the hips right where our hands are. And so we're limited by the amount that we can float our leg up. So maybe it's 1 inch or 2 or 3 off of the mat. Don't worry about how high your leg is. Again, think about pressing those hip bones down into the mat. Close your pelvic elevator door. Feel the pelvic elevator and those kittens so you're co-contracting, and bring that right leg down. Change, left leg, core first. So co-contract, feel the weight into the bikini line on both hip bones, and then float that left leg up. Stay nice and heavy into your bikini line and bring that down. That should eliminate any sort of back pain, right? Inhale, and now we're gonna go over to the right side again. Up and down. How you doing? And left side. Don't worry about how high. Think about your co-contraction and your ability to press your hip bones into your hands. Okay, now we're going to bend the right knee. Okay, and we're gonna do a little booty exercise. So you're gonna keep your pubic bone down, hip bones are heavy into your hands, bikini line heavy into your hands, and we're gonna do just a tiny little heel lift. 10, 9, 8. But remember, because your core is strong, you're not letting it go into your back. 6, 5, 4, 3. This is harder than it looks. 2, 1. Whoo! Felt that in my right glute? Yep. And left leg. Hip bones anchored, pubic bone down. Flexing my left foot, so the heel of my foot is going to the ceiling. And here I go, co-contract. 1, 2, oh, I have more range on this side. 3, which is interesting. Wouldn't have thought that. 4, 5, every day is different. 6, 7, 8, co-contract please. 9, elevator up, kittens in. 10, and bring that down. Okay, again, simple in its choreography. Press up, but really effective in terms of connecting to the good muscles that we want to engage and get you out of your back. Okay. Now we're gonna do a little cat and cow to finish today. Just a quick, again, this is a quick little body tune-up, bringing all of your intrinsic muscles or your postural muscles into shape and into strength, and then you're ready to get on your day. So here we go. Can you close those elevator doors? Pull in through the kittens, pull up through those kittens, and then rounding your spine. And see if you can emphasize not the rounding of the upper back across your shoulders, but flip your feet, put the tops of your feet down, and emphasize your tailbone curling under by pressing down into your shins. And then bring that back through neutral. And then gently arch, open your spine, and exhale, curl, rounding your spine. 2 more. And arch, zip up through the pelvic floor and deep abdominals. Exhale and curl. Good job. Last time. And arch. Ooh, can you keep those kittens snuggled into the front of your frame as you're arching your back? And curl. Very good. And have a seat on your mat. Okay, so this quick little practice will get you going for the rest of your day. I encourage you to practice this as often as possible. If you like this video, hit like, and I look forward to seeing you next time, and reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much, and I am so grateful for you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye all.